then why not include other religious texts that also throughout history played a role, such as I pointed out, the Book of Mormon, such as...
He said, Trump's election is a clear mandate that people want the Bible back in schools.
Are you saying that people are tired of having their kids go to school and sing Science Bless America?
And then,
as long as they don't read that part about the Tower of Sherazah, we're good.
I think this is a terrible idea.
That's where it goes from being like a good idea to weird Protestant priestcraft.
Just don't ever remember, boys and girls, that Captain Moroni became Captain Moroni because he had driven his spear through the chest of many a young man. Don't ever forget that.
No.
And the book begins with the decapitation of labor. I'm just saying, it's in there. It's in there.
On a lighter note, labor camps are the moderate position.
Oh my God.
All of the scriptural references used in this episode will be brought to you by scripturenotes.com. For a free trial to Scripture Notes, please visit the link in the description. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio. I'm your host, Cardin Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by Jonah Barnes and Brad Whitbeck. And today we're going to be talking about bringing back not just the Bible, but maybe the Book of Mormon into schools. Jonah, tell us what's going on.
Well, yes, with the recent election of Donald Trump, there's talk now about what we're going to do with religious texts in public schools. This is a long and storied history, but things are shaking up fast.
Okay.
Shaking up like a Ziploc bag filled with herbs and chicken. Just shaking right up.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a Pepsi bottle with Coke and Mentos, right?
Or what about a Pepsi bottle with Mentos and chicken?
Oh, gross.
This is
Good
gross.
try.
Tell us what's going on with the Bible,
So,
bro.
anyways, so the story kind of begins, and remember in the 1960s, you could have prayer in schools, and they had like Bible devotionals in public schools. And then the Supreme Court says, hey, you can't do that anymore because it's promoting a specific religion, okay? That's kind of where it all came from. Fast forward to today, and you have some states like Texas and Oklahoma who are saying, I think it started with Texas, saying, we want the Bible back in schools. We want to be able to do prayer and Bible back in schools. Now, when I was a kid, you could go out to the flagpole. I think it was called Meet Me at the Pole, and you'd go out after school and you'd say a prayer, and the kids would stand in a circle and they'd say a prayer, and they would let LDS kids do it, which was great.
Oh, nice.
They probably didn't know we were LDS, but yeah, the Mormon kids go out there and we could pray next to the Cretists, and it was just fine. But so now Texas and Oklahoma are trying to legislate some of this stuff, and recently Ryan Walters, who is the head of the superintendent of public schools in Oklahoma, he said Trump's election is a clear mandate that people want the Bible back in schools.
Wow. Is that what this article is? How schools in Oklahoma are responding to a new Bible mandate?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Okay.
before the election, they did this mandate.
Are you saying that people are tired of having their kids go to school and sing Science Bless America?
Darwin we trust.
Yeah.
Wait, shut up. Is that a real thing?
No, Cardin. No.
Oh, I was going to say, I could believe they say amen and a woman just to piss off Christians.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I could see them saying
I
Science
could not
bless America, DEI land of the free.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not outside the realm of possibility. It's
Yeah.
really sad.
Okay, so keep going, man.
But
Keep
so
going.
Oklahoma did this. They said we're going to put Bibles in schools, and then Donald Trump gets elected in this massive red wave, and so now they're emboldened to do it. So the superintendent of public schools sends out this message to all the schools, and he says, "Hey guys, we're going to say a prayer for Donald Trump."
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, he's taking his life into his own hands there.
Well, yeah.
Like even in Tennessee or Texas, there's enough crazy cat lady woke scolds on that bureaucracy to send him to HR.
Well, I mean, he goes all in with this thing. So CNN had a interview with the guy,
Okay.
and you'll never guess what they brought up in this interview. So if you look at,
Oh, whoops. Is that this clip that you got right here?
it's Oklahoma's top educator
Okay.
requires schools to play video of him praying. And did I queue it up? I did queue it up. If you click on that, you can get, I queued it up to the relevant question. They're debating back and forth like, how can you put Bible in schools? That's a specific religion. And he says, because it's a historical document, we need to study documents that are relevant to our history, even if they're religious. And so she rebuts with this.
All right.
What she says.
So here is CNN. Hit it.
Question about these with other religious texts. If that is your reason, if you were like, I want our students to learn about the founding of this country and the Bible played a big role in that, then why not include other religious texts that also throughout history played a role, such as I pointed out, the Book of Mormon, such as the Quran.
Okay.
Whoa, wait a second. So what is
his response? I want to see his response to that real quick.
He kind of dodges, but you can listen to it.
Okay, fine. We'll see. Here's what you got to say.
You're looking at world history class, you can absolutely talk about this, but let's be clear, in American history, the Bible played a unique role in shaping this history, and you said no religion.
Okay.
So his answer, very, very short. He doesn't really dive into it. He just says, well, the Bible played a unique role. To which I want to say, well, so did the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Unique role. I mean, it did.
Let's talk about unique. Which book of scripture was written in America?
Hey, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's
telling the history of people in the Americas.
It's true.
Oh, wait, but there's no archaeological evidence of Moses and the Exodus, but we still are going to put it in school.
Put that in there. Where the Ten Commandments come from the book of Exodus. The Ten Commandments, which are hanging in the halls of Congress.
Okay.
So anyways, now a year or two ago, Utah was there's this big book ban thingy. You hear of this where people are like they started looking at what books were actually in public schools, and people were flipping out because there were some crazy things. And Davis County, Utah, there was a new law passed that you could review the books, and parents could submit suggestions for review. I want you to review this book. And Davis County in Utah said, yeah, let's do this thing. And so people started submitting these. Well, some trollsters
submitted the Bible. Yeah.
And they said,
I heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to review this. And so they reviewed it and they said, yeah, let's pull it. Let's not have it in schools. And then counter protesters came and said, no, you got to put it back in schools. So they put it back in schools. And now they're submitting the Book of Mormon to say, should we have this in schools? And so it's been this back and forth. And then,
as long as they don't read that part about the Tower of Sherazah, we're good.
Oh no, my favorite verse for all the boys, all the young men listening to this. Easy to remember. Alma 234. Go look it up.
What
Alma
is it?
234. It's they took the bodies of the slain Lamanites and used them to build a fleshy bridge across the river so they could cross over to continue the fighting.
Oh, I think this is a great time. This is a great time to mention our sponsor, Scripture Notes. I'm going to look up on Scripture Notes, Alma 234, while you talk about the rest of us, and then read it from Scripture Notes.
Wait, are you gonna get Scripture Notes up and running?
Yeah, that's right. You got that, man.
Yeah, but that's a great one to remember. Alma 234. Easy to remember. 234.
Okay,
234,
cool. Sick,
right?
sick.
Little fleshy bridge. As a little boy, I thought it was
never
awesome.
interpreted it that way.
Well, you'll read it. It's like, oh gosh, you read it and you're like, geez.
Well, here it is right here, Alma 234. We go down to 34, and I want to see how close you were in your memory.
Oh,
here.
well, no.
And thus he cleared the ground, or rather the bank, which was one the west of the river Sidon, which we all know because we're going to show up to the debate between Luke Hansen and Rod Meldrum. That is, does he say the Mississippi? I can't remember.
I think it's the Columbia, clearly.
Yeah, okay. Well, either way, here it goes from Scripture Notes.
I don't know which one Rod says.
All right. So it says, the bodies of the Lamanites who had been slain into the waters of Sidon, and therefore his people might have room to cross and contend with the Lamanites and the Amalekites on the west side of the river Sidon.
Brutal.
The bodies of the Lamanites.
So
that is crazy.
I understood that as they're clearing the bodies away so they can cross.
Yeah, that's because you're a softy, Brad.
To a bridge.
That's because you're a softy.
No, it's because I can read.
Well, you said you couldn't read.
That's true.
So keep going.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, just don't ever remember, boys and girls, that Captain Moroni became Captain Moroni because he had driven his spear through the chest of many a young man. Don't ever forget that.
No.
And the book begins with the decapitation of Laban. I'm just saying, it's in there.
On a lighter note, labor camps are the moderate position.
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
No, there's a decent amount of violence within the Book of Mormon.
Oh, sure. And in the Bible.
Yeah.
And in the Quran. Kill them where you find them.
And the Old Testament.
And in, like, history in general.
Yeah, right, it is.
Yeah.
And so, anyways,
And
these books get reviewed. In my
Whoa. Pardon.
Just keep going, bro.
So they review these books and the back and forth or whatever, but Davis County Schools decided to keep them. They decided it's okay to have the Bible, the Book of Mormon, and the Quran in public schools. So what I want to know is, Mr. Trump, our new great supreme leader, are you going to put the Book of Mormon into public schools? Well, they did in Oklahoma, and this is the part that I got to admit, I think this is a terrible idea, actually. I think this is really stupid. But they said, well, we're going to put the Bible into every public school, and we're going to need a lot of Bibles. So what are we going to do? We're going to buy a $65 Trump-approved Bible.
No.
Wait, what?
No.
The Trump
The
official...
one with the Lee... What's the guy's name? The God Bless America guy? I'm proud to be an American.
I don't know.
Not Keith Urban. Who's the other country guy? He performed in Stadium of Fire in Salt Lake City. I'm proud to be an American.
Yeah, the God Bless the USA Bible.
Where at least I know I'm free. Everybody that voted for Ronald Reagan, sing along.
Lee Greenwood.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, cool.
The Lee Greenwood Bible.
Music singer-songwriter Lee Greenwood, published in 2021, marketed by Donald Trump under his brand name and promoted as part of his 2024 presidential campaign. The Holy Bible, God Bless the USA, Trump-approved Bible, happens to be the one that they're buying for all Oklahoma public schools to put in public schools. So,
whoa! I don't know about that one. Let's just stick with a basic KGV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, all right.
And the KJV, get it from the Gideons. They're putting it out everywhere for free anyway.
Hey,
like,
you can get it. You can get it off. Let's see. $60 off LeeGreenwood.com. $60 for a Bible. I want to say, and the lady almost says it in the CNN interview. She says, "Can't you get a cheaper Bible?" And I wanted to interrupt and be like, "Hey, we'll put them in for free."
Yeah.
Hey, you talk to the LDS Church.
Legitimately,
We'll print them for free. What are you talking about? The Gideons?
Jeez.
The Gideons got truckloads of them. Mm-hmm. They'll put them in for free.
So this guy right here on the right, he wants a $60 Bible in every... Okay, that's where it goes from being like a good idea to weird Protestant priestcraft.
It's you know
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay.
It's a little weird. Now, I want to say, look, if you need to save some cash, and we're all looking to pinch a few pennies, we all know that according to Jeremy Runnels, the Book of Mormon is just a knockoff of the Bible, right? It's just a cheap knockoff. Keyword being cheap. Hey, hey, think about it. You're getting some Isaiah. You get the Sermon on the Mount. Okay,
is the highlight reel? Yeah.
I'm just saying. You get some of the Pauline Paulinisms in there from Abinadi and from Alma. Yay, and we'll do it for free.
It's a twofer.
Yeah. That's right. It's a twofer. Well, it's like a threefer.
In California, something that Lance Christensen, who is actually one of the higher level educators in the state administration, has brought up myriad times, is people don't understand how like Mormons like basically founded the vast majority of like 3 out of 4 of the municipalities in California. And the tip of the nation of Deseret, you're sitting in it in our studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
It went all the way down to the Santa Monica Pier, basically.
Wow. Yeah.
So the line's not perfectly straight. It was basically along the tips of the mountains. It looks like it basically followed the Sierra Nevada mountains. But from Santa Monica all the way up to basically like Reno, Nevada, okay, was the state of Deseret.
Cardin.
And so, yeah.
I just thought of a new hat.
What?
We need to make MUDA, a Muda hat. Make Utah Deseret again.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh.
I'm certain that like Desnats have poisoned that into not being viable. But
well, tomorrow on Twitter, Muda will be trending in the state of Utah, you know, but they won't know what to do with it.
Just like with the Deseret state logo on it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Oh, but, that might have to be February's hat.
That would be fun.
That might have to be February's hat.
You kind of ruined it, but that would be awesome.
I
would
want
totally
that to
get
be a thing that we can like get excited about without people being like, "Oh, these must be like Christian nationalists."
Yeah, right.
Come on, let us just think about the cool history that we have without it being something horrible.
That's
unappreciated history.
The hilarious part about that is when all of the woke scolds want to come out and say, that's white Christian nationalism. I'll be like, it was invented by a Canadian liberal. You know what I'm saying? Like it was invented in real time on this show.
He's from Canada.
By a Canadian liberal immigrant. So, like before you think that this is like some kind of build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know that liberal necessarily describes my position.
I'd say you're a classical liberal.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you believe in solving problems through discourse. Come and let us reason together. You're very into the arts and entertainment. You're kind.
Yeah. I think I feel way more center than like...
Well, also, these labels don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because, what is conservative? Donald Trump's cabinet is all ex-Democrats, and he used to be a Democrat. Like,
Brad,
what does that mean anymore? What's a Republican anymore other than just an ex-Democrat? you know?
Yep. Brad's, he's middle of the road. He's labor camps.
Oh my God.
As a moderate position.
Keep it moderate.
Yes, as a moderate position.
We might have different definitions of moderate.
Yep, you heard it here from Brad Whitbeck.
Okay.
So anyways, all right.
Yeah, continue, Jonah.
Just to crunch the math here for everybody. So the cost of purchasing and shipping, there's 1,720 public schools in Oklahoma. Okay.
Whoa.
You might need more than one per, but let's just say it's one. All right. You're going to need upwards of $65,000 to purchase them, and then ship them all is probably going to be pushing $70,000. Okay, to get all these Bibles into these schools. Now, you could online right now, you can get a paperback copy of the Book of Mormon delivered to your door via Amazon for $6. $6. You can get it for free if you go to LDS.org. So everybody out there listening in Oklahoma, we just encourage you, if you head to churchofjesuschrist.org or LDS.org, you can save your state a little bit of money by ordering a copy of the Book of Mormon for your local public school. And you're going to get some of the Bible in there. You're going to get portions of it for dirt cheap, on the cheap. We actually have delivery men in your neighborhood, 2 very nice young men in your neighborhood who will deliver it to your door and explain anything that you need about it. And you can put it in your public school and save some money for your state. So you're helping education, you're helping the state budget, you're helping children learn the unique history of the Book of Mormon in America. It's a win-win-win all around.
I love how you just made a PSA for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, riding off the coattails of a Protestant priestcraft campaign donating Trumpist in the middle of Tennessee. Because, by the way, and then Brad, I heard you speak up that we're going to toss to you.
Yeah.
But this actually, because I'm a little bit of a political insider on how these things are done, I know that this is also kind of a little bit of a grift, and I hate to say it. It's very common that political candidates will write books. Just like you have the key to the keystone next to you, they'll write books. Now, can political candidates take donation money to their candidacy home with them? No, they can't. But what they can do is accept a donation from a wealthy person, and then as a thank you for that donation, the campaign can buy lots of books and send a copy of that book saying, thanks for coming to our fundraiser for John Widsoe, which is just a made up name. As a thank you, here's a signed copy of his book that we bought for $29.95, even though it's worth 2 cents, So campaigns will often buy massive quantities of the books that the campaigner actually wrote. And now it's legal because they're handing them out as campaign thank yous, and they can overbuy and then dump them later. There's really no way of not stopping that revolving door of money from happening.
There's no way.
So the reason why he chose the Trump approved John Widsoe or whatever Bible is because he wants to be able to get these Lee Greenwood Bibles, is because he wants to get in with Lee Greenwood because he's a cultural icon and he wants to virtue signal to Trump. So that's a little bit crappy, that part, but I do believe we should have Bibles in schools.
Now, we've reported the news. Now I'll give my opinion.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, get that Bible out. No way. I don't want anyone praying in schools. I don't want any Bibles in schools. I'm dead serious. I want public schools with their craziness. I want that to be the most manifestly, aggressively anti-religious institution in America, because I want my kids to come home and say, those people are nuts.
Yeah.
And you know what they hate? They hate God, and they hate church, and they hate the Bible. And I'll say, you're right, son. Don't listen to those crazy teachers. Be punk rock. Be cool. Let's go listen to some Ramones, and let's go read the Book of Mormon. And they'll be like, heck yeah, Dad. Heck yeah. That's what I want.
I might be the entire opposite. And maybe this is in part because, I don't know, did your guys' schools do this? I went on like field trips to a mosque and to a Catholic cathedral and to...
well, they'd allow the mosque because you got to support Islam during the Bush era. But now they're waking up to, maybe that's not such a good idea. It was worth the votes in the 90s and the early 2000s. But now that the shame fest of the Christian right is over with, we might want to distance ourselves from the Muslims. So they would never take us to a cathedral, because to endorse Catholicism would be to endorse Satan himself, you know.
Yeah, so we went to a mosque, a cathedral, a Hindu temple. We went to a lot of different things, and that was part of my school. And I think that was actually a really good thing.
That's cool.
It was in a world religions context, and I think that's great. I think people should have a really solid education in a lot of different religions. I'm kind of the opposite, Jonah. I think that it is good to give a breadth of those things to students. And I think when we talk about like uniquely American history, I think the Book of Mormon should be part of that conversation. I am in agreement with the idea that we should not have our teachers being the ones providing the religious education to our kids. So, I mean, how much of the Bible can you include without... Go ahead.
I was going to say, in a historical context, you're 100% right, Brad. Because and I was saying this earlier and then I veered down a rabbit hole, but Lance Christensen has given wild Californian history. And did you know that the bear flag that California is known for was held by the Bishop of Vallejo when he took over the fort and established the Bear Flag Republic, which lasted only 4 to 6 months or something.
Oh, dang.
But the reason why the bear flag of California exists is because a Mormon bishop basically marched with his elders quorum and the local militia to go take over what was left of the California land grant in what they thought was going to be a physical battle. But when they showed up, there was the Mexican dude just ready to give it to him. And he said, look, I'm tired of this crap. You guys can just have it. Let's sign the paperwork. You get your independence. And then ultimately it was bought by the U.S. through a string of different purchases. But that was a Mormon that gave us the California flag in the Bear Flag Revolt, who thought that he might get shot by taking over what was in his ward boundaries, basically. All right. You know,
that's so cool.
So, there's nothing wrong with saying, guys, the flag that we have, it was actually founded by X group. The Seal of Los Angeles used to have the crucifix on it because it was Father Junipero Serra, if I remember correctly, that founded El Pueblo de la Virgen de Los Angeles, which ended up being Los Angeles. But they're sanitizing religion out of history. And so they removed the cross famously. But it's no, put that cross in there. Freaking those monks worked hard.
Now, can I say something potentially controversial?
Oh, yes. No. In this episode? Public schools and religion? No. Trump? No.
So here's my question that I have for you guys. When we're looking at the issue of religious texts being discussed in a educational setting, something that I have wondered about is if we do what you're saying, Jonah, and we remove religious texts completely from educational context, does what is being taught in schools kind of become a religion? Because I feel like I'm seeing that in
that's actually quite a good point.
Ask the question again.
That's actually a really good point.
Does what's taught in schools become a religion anyway? Right?
Yes.
Because people end up, I feel like they end up having a very similar religious attitude where now their politicians are their priests, right? And these things, it's kind of almost impossible for us to just completely remove religion from the equation. And so that's where I feel like it's wiser to give a broad spectrum of those religions and not prefer any single one. But when I see our like separation of church and state, I don't see that as no talking about religion ever. I see it as we're not going to make one single religion prioritized over others. Right?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I've actually spoken about this. I've said that oftentimes your desire to take the Judeo-Christian God out of schools, because when you say, well, let's remove religion from schools, that's not what you're saying. You're saying remove the Judeo-Christian religion from schools, because what happens is in your efforts to sanitize the Judeo-Christian essence of God from public schools, you just end up replacing it with this weird woke false idol where there's just new catechisms, you know, and there's just new original sins. Like whiteness is the original sin, you know, it's like, so human beings were meant to worship, and schools were meant to be extensions of their culture that prioritize naturalistic education, not religious education. But it doesn't mean you ignore them, because sometimes it's like, you know, when there's a girl at a party that's attracted to you, but she's trying to ignore you, and it's like kind of pathetic because like her attempt to make it appear like she doesn't notice you're there
is very conspicuous.
It's the most glaring, most conspicuous thing. It's like, yeah, that girl wants me to talk to her and she's trying to act like she's not interested. It's like pathetic. I can see it from a mile away, right? That's all you end up doing. Okay.
Well, but this is my philosophy.
Yeah.
So if I can share the story, I think I may have shared this before.
Yeah, sure.
We have a pizza peel and we painted it rainbow colors, and my kids were looking at it and they were sniggering with each other. And I was like, what are you guys laughing about? And they're like, nothing, Dad, nothing. I go, okay. Like they were doing something really bad and they didn't want me to hear.
Yeah.
I come to find out that they were snickering about it because in public schools, they were being very much kind of forced this, the rainbow brigade, the rainbow philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids would sit and they were not being taught this. It was being pounded into their eyes, and they were sitting in the back going, because the angry blue-haired teacher who canceled their recess and was mean all the time and not very smart was telling them, this is what you have to believe. I think that's exactly, and so they thought grown-ups everywhere, they thought we didn't want them to snicker at it. And then when I finally found out what it was, I was like, thank you, public schools. Thank you for making traditional values punk rock. I love this. And now my kids feel like they're like punk rock when they go to church, when they, read their Bible, when they, believe in Jesus Christ.
Thank you, public schools, for destroying the rest of the society around my little ark. Because as for me and my ark, we will float and not even hear the screams of the others outside of us.
To quote anti-Mormon,
you are a true pacifist. You are so pacifist. You're like, let him die.
To quote anti-Mormon Corbin Valu's, am I my brother's keeper?
Oh, just kidding. Just brutal. Okay, so guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Should the Bible be just available in schools? Should it be actively taught, or maybe only as a historical document, or as a culturally informed document? Or should there be like a little tinge of, hey guys, maybe you should take spirituality seriously, kind of sprinkled like a little bit of salt and pepper on the dish of a child's public education? Should we all just move to Canada and visit the mosques and the synagogues that Brad saw? Because we didn't get that in LA.
That was in Utah.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Cool.
Way to go. That's cool.
Okay, that makes sense. Either way, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, for this and more, please make sure you check us out at WardRadio.com. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Please make sure that you like and you share and you subscribe. Also, a big shout out for the debate we got coming up between Rod Meldrum and Luke Hansen on December 3rd in Vineyard, Utah. Go to WardRadio.com for tickets to that. Also, if you want to contribute, please check us out on Zelle, Venmo, or the Cash App. If you want to sign up for Ward Radio News, please also go to WardRadio.com. And last but not least, make sure you check out scripturenotes.com. Everybody has to read their scriptures every day, and there's no better way to read your scriptures than through scripturenotes.com. Either way, it's been real and it's been fun. It's been real fun. We'll see you guys in the next program.